His name is babashuaib. So babashuaib is originally from Ghana. He is now based in Europe. He's a Quranic researcher and a critical thinker based on religion who is a Muslim. He does online lectures based on the guidance of the Quran alone on platforms such as Facebook and YouTube, and recently TikTok. He has a background in MSA and Classical Arabic, and he has translated the Great Quran with transliteration 2021 edition, and is the author of Refer to the Quran, Volume 1. Brother, his name is babashuaib. So babashuaib is originally from Ghana. He is now based in Europe. He's a Quranic researcher and a critical thinker based on religion who is a Muslim. He does online lectures based on the guidance of the Quran alone on platforms such as Facebook and YouTube, and recently TikTok. He has a background in MSA and Classical Arabic, and he has translated the Great Quran with transliteration 2021 edition, and is the author of Refer to the Quran, Volume 1. Brother, one edition, and is the author of
Yeah. Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. Peace be upon you all. Yeah, sorry for the inconvenience. Actually, I nearly thought I'll cancel the program today. But thanks to God, I'm here now, right? Yeah, and sorry for the late information. Thank you all for coming. I see you, Salim, Abdullahi, Sister Alma Johnson, Marwan, Divaj, Balogun, Sanusi, Aziz, Tariq Ayub, Musa Arabogo. I see you all. Thank you all for coming. Initially, Sam K. Yeah, thank you all. Yeah, thank you all for coming. Right. Yeah. So let's not waste time because there's a delay here. So yeah. So we are here to talk about what's happening at the Hajj or during the Hajj. What happens there? Many a times people are oblivion to the notion of Hajj, and many of times you hear people telling you Hajj is part of the 5 pillars of Islam, right? Many a times you hear people saying that. This is my way. I invite to Allah by perception, high, and whoever follows me, and glory be to Allah, for I am not among the idolaters or mushriks. Yeah. So, like I said, many a times you hear people telling you, "Oh, we have to do Hajj. Hajj is part of the 5 pillars of Islam, and Hajj is mandatory." Whatever they keep saying such things. So they will mention the Shahada, they will mention Salat, they will mention Zakat, they will mention the Siyam, and then they will mention Hajj. Right. So this is what people claim is 5 pillars of Islam. However, throughout the Quran, there is no concept of saying that Islam has 5 pillars. No such concept in the Quran. It is a foreign concept which actually people try to involve in the deen. But it is not actually the Quran saying that there are 5 pillars. So somebody might say, "Oh, are you saying there are no 5 pillars in Islam?" I'm not saying that. However, the doctrine that people have actually limited the notion of faith to 5 pillars of Islam, it doesn't exist in the Quran, right? However, we find a notion of Shahada is in the Quran, Salat is in the Quran, Zakat is in the Quran, Siyam, that is Siyam, is in the Quran, that is abstinence, and then the Hajj is also in the Quran. But nowhere did God say these are the 5 pillars of Islam. So bear in mind. So many a times people mistaken this concept and they think since it's mentioned Hajj, salat, and so on. These are the so-called pillars of Islam, but that's not the case. So I'll put a verse where we see the notion of faith, the essence of our faith itself, what determines your faith, right? So let's say I put this verse, Quran, yeah. So that is Quran chapter 4, verse 136. So God says, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu. Let me see if the screen is, yeah, it's clear enough, right? So God says, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu. Aminu billahi. That is the first thing. You should believe in the God, because you can't have faith without believing in God. Faith, God defines faith for you. So you have to believe in God is what defines your faith. So aminu billahi wa rasulihi, and his messenger, wal kitabi, right? And the book. Lazi nazzala ala rasulihi, the book that he has revealed to the messenger. You have to believe also. Wal kitabi lazi anzala min qabl, and the book which he has revealed before that, right? So people who don't understand will say the Bible. God never revealed a book called Bible, right? However, you will find verses or words which are from God written in the Bible. Yes, you can find that. Then God says, وَمَنْ يَكْفُرُ بِاللَّهِ, whoever disbelieves in God, وَمَلَائِكَتِهِ, and his what? Angels, وَكُتُبِهِ, and his books, وَرُسُلِهِ, and his messengers, وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ, and the last day. فَقَدْ ضَلَّ ضَلَالًا بَعِيدًا, then he has strayed, which is what? Far astray. Or he is in a clear or far error. Now, far astray meaning you're straying, your mood of straying has gone very, very far, to the limit. Yeah. So here, you who have believed, believe in God, his messenger, and the book which he revealed to his messenger, as well as the book which was revealed before. And whoever disbelieves in God, number one, his angels, number two, his books, number three, his messengers, number four, and the last day, number five, then he has strayed far astray. So if you don't have these five things here in this verse, chapter 4, verse 136, if you don't have these five things, your faith is useless. This defines your faith. This is the pillar of your faith. You don't believe in God, you don't believe in his angels, you don't believe in his books, his messengers, and the last day, you're out of coverage area. Then, apart from that, I take you to 98, verse 5. Right? That is Surah Al-Bayyinah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Where God says, وَمَا أُمِرُوا إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ دِينَهُ نَفَاهَ وَيُقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَيُؤْتُوا الزَّكَاةَ وَذَلِكَ دِينُ الْقَيِّمَةِ. And they were not commanded except to worship God, sincerely devoting to him the true religion, establishing the litany and giving the charity. And that is the valuable religion. Now, apart from that, coming from the instance of faith from chapter 4, verse 136, and then we come into 98, verse 5, here it defines that you have to worship God, sincerely devoting your deed to him, which is orthodoxly, truthfully, right? Which is rightly accepted by God. Then you establish the salat and then give the zakat. And that is the valuable religion, or we can say the upright deed, right? So this defines another aspect of your faith. So you believe in God, you believe in his angels, his messengers, his books, and the last day, Yawm al-Akhir. That is the day of, your recompense. You get your reward on that day. So 98 verse 5 says they were not commanded except to worship God, sincerely devoting the deed to him, right? The true deed. So then you establish a salat and give the zakat, right? And that is the value. So this completes your deed. This is the epitome of the deed. This is the essence of your deed. Now, somebody will say, will I go to hell if I don't go to Hajj? The answer is no, you are not going to hell. Will I go to hell if I don't do Siyam, the month of Ramadan? Will I go to hell? No. The answer is no, you are not going to hell. What defines your faith is the verses I just give you. That defines your faith. So that is why God mentioned these three aspects in this verse. These are the pillars of your faith. Then the other verse I mentioned in the beginning, chapter 4, verse 136, is what defines your where you have put your heart into in the first place, right? So meaning you believe in God, so eventually you have to believe in his words. Since you believe in God, you believe in his angels. You believe in God, you believe in his messages, then his books. You understand? Then you believe in the last day he has set forth, that is Yawm al-Akhir, or Yawm al-Din, or Yawm al-Qiyamah, or you understand? It goes on and on. So by this, you have summarized the epitome of your faith. So now you have put yourself in check. It's just like taking a list of items that you fall in the criteria. You check, like a checklist. Yeah. So now what people usually don't understand is, what people usually don't understand is, it says the Quran I put there is not clear enough, right? I can increase the font size. I guess like this is clear enough. So kindly let me know. Can you give me a heads up if you can see the text clearly right now? Because somebody earlier said it wasn't clear enough. So let me know if it is clear now. Okay, Alma Johnson says clear. Yeah. Yeah, kindly let me know if it's clear for you all. Okay. Musa Khan says I can see it clearly, which is good. Okay. So since you can all see it clear now, I'll just keep that. Then the next time I bring it, you see it. So I've seen where the percentage I have to leave it on clarity, right? Okay. So what you guys need to understand is when we say Hajj, if you go to my YouTube channel, I've done topics where I have addressed certain notions of the topic, where I says Hajj is not a pilgrimage, it's a question mark. If you watch that, you see me breaking down the instance of Hajj. And then I've done another video, I think, where I spoke about Hajj is not a debate, right? So you watch that. There's a reason why I chose those titles, and I spoke about that because some people will say Hajj means debate. Hajj means Hajj is not a pilgrimage. People will be saying such things. So I have such videos to give you the clarity, the answers. And then there's this video by Dan Gibson who said the Kaaba was supposed to be in Petra. He made a video and people seem to be confused about this and whatever have you. So when you watch these two videos I have, it will kind of clear the misconception on this, issue that people have, right? So first of all, what people need to understand is, thank you very much, Sister Alma, for the stars. I appreciate that. Thank you. Salam, all those who are joining now. This is the Salid, everybody joining. Mohammed Sanji, Ibrahim Bari, Mahmoud Swala, Sani Mohammed, Nas Khan, Musa Shoaib, Thank you all for coming. And is it for the salams. I can't say any salam again till I finish the program, right? Yeah. Yeah, so the month of the month of Hajj, what I want people to understand, we are going to make a checklist, right? And I'm going to tell you certain things which are not included in the Hajj. So when we say Hajj, don't think we all believe in the concept of the Hajj that the sectarians are doing. First of all, let me put this here, right? I'm going to make a checklist. There's this black stone. And then number two, they have what we call stoning the devil. And then number three is going to the Masjid in Nabawi. And number four, where should I put? Where should I put? Okay, the list will come to me as time goes on, right? But the notion of blackstone, this blackstone is not in the Quran, right? Stoning the devil is not in the Quran. And then you have to, when they say when you go to the Hajj, you have to go and visit the Masjid of the Prophet. It's not in the Quran. That concept is not there. They will say go and visit the grave of the Prophet, something. It's not there, right? It's not part of Hajj. As time goes on, you can type for me the rest, and then the Zamzam water. Let's put Zam water. This is also not in the Quran. There is no black stone in the Quran. There is no. There is 7 times going around the Kaaba 7 times. 7 times circulation or circumambulation. 7 times circling of the Kaaba. Yeah, and then what else? Yeah, Makam Ibrahima, we can just consider and say it's around the Kaaba. Yeah, we can consider that. Cutting, shaving the head. Shaving the head is in the Quran. Yes, I'll be giving that those references, right? You can find it in Quran chapter 48, verse 27, and Quran chapter 2, verse 196. The shaving is there, but not in the way the sectarians actually do it, right? So this checklist I put here, the black stone is not part of the Hajj. Stoning the devil, no such thing in the Quran. Sorry, just a minute. Yeah, sorry, I have to put something up here. Yeah, sorry. I just need to share this on my page so that I don't forget. Some people need to watch. Yeah, so the notion of the black stone is not there. Stoning the devil is not in the Quran, right? Visiting the Masjid of the Prophet in Medina is not in the Quran. Zamzam water is not in the Quran. 7 times circling of the Kaaba is not in the Quran. These are not things God commanded, right? People are, And then they will say you have to say labbaik Allahumma labbaik labbaik la sharika lak labbaik. It's not in the Quran. This is not something God actually instructed you to do. So people have been indoctrinated to think that I have to say this before, my Hajj will be accepted. No such thing, right? So this is a checklist. These things are not part of the Hajj. So anybody who has anything to add, just add. I make the list so people can see it, right? I repeat, this is not part of the Hajj that the Quran has stipulated, right? So we go here. So when we say Hajj, the literal meaning in the Quran is pilgrimage, right? Pilgrimage. And what is a pilgrimage? We are talking about a journey to a sacred place. Because when you go there, we have the Masjid al-Haram, and then we have the Bayt al-Haram. In Quran chapter 5, verse 2, you have the Bayt al-Haram, and then you have the Masjid al-Haram. They are two separate things. We have the Kaaba, and then we have the what? The Masjid. And they are based in Mecca. If you go to Quran chapter 48, verse 24, and read up to verse 27, the Masjid al-Haram is based in Mecca. You will find the evidence there. So let me give you an example. Quran chapter 48, verse 24, verse 27. I see if I can share the screen here. Just a minute, sorry. Yeah. Quran chapter 48, verse 24, right? If you read, it says, and he, God, is the one who restrained their hands from you, the believers, right? And your hands from them in the interior, the batni of what? Makkah. This Makkata. You see Makkah. Afterwards, this is it in Arabic here, right? When you read here, huwa allazi kaffa aydiyahum ankum wa aydiyakum anhum bibatni makkata. You see? Bibatni Makkah. Min ba'di an azfarakum alayhim. Wa kana Allah bima ta'amaluna basira. So he, God, is the one who restrained their hands, the disbelievers' hands, the mushriks, from you and your hands from them. In the interior, when we say batni, it is like in the stomach of something. So if it is a city in the middle, in the interior of what? Of Makkah. Afterwards, he caused you to overcome them. And God is cognizant of what you do, right? Then verse 25, they, the disbelievers, are those who disbelieved and repelled you, the believers, from the sacred masjid. That's the Masjid al-Haram. So you can see the Masjid al-Haram is based in the middle of what? Mecca, right? The Masjid al-Haram, the sacred mosque, is based in the what? Mecca. While the sacrifice was restrained from reaching its location, right? And if not for the believing men and the believing women, whom you, the believers, did not know, that you might step on them, thus shame will have struck you, the believers, from them without knowledge, so that God might admit whomever he willed into his mercy. If they had pulled away, we would have punished them, punished those who disbelieved among them with a painful punishment. Then verse 26, because those who disbelieved had put fanaticism in their hearts the fanaticism of ignorance. Thus, God sent down his tranquility upon his messenger. That is number one. And upon the believers. That's number two. And obligated them with the word of what? Piousness. Number three. And they were worthier for it and qualified for it. For God is aware of all things. Then, verse 27. God has suddenly told the truth to his messenger with a true vision. You, the believers, will enter the sacred mosque, the Masjid al-Haram, if God wills, safely, with your heads shaved and shortened, without fearing. For he knew what you did not know, and has made besides what? That a nearby conquest. So when you read from Quran chapter 48, verse 24 to verse 24 to verse 27, you will get Mecca, and Mecca, inside Mecca, you have the Masjid al-Haram, which is based there, right? Now, some people will say that the place Abraham stayed is called Mecca. However, why is it that God is mentioning Mecca? Mecca is actually the city, the main city. But the place in which Abraham was based at that time, we don't call it Mecca, of course. So the Quran gives you different timelines. It gives you the story of Abraham, it gives you a timeline, and gives you the story of, So back then, when Prophet Muhammad was based in Saudi Arabia, at that time, there was no country called Saudi Arabia. It is this modern day they named the place Saudi Arabia. Like I give you an example. If you go to Jerusalem right now, right? Jerusalem. At that time, it wasn't called Israel. The country wasn't Israel. It was Palestine still. It was in the year 1948. And then they had what we call the Israeli state. Then it became a country later on. So it is not a country initially. So if somebody says, I went to Jerusalem in the year 1945, you don't say, oh, so you went to Israel? No, there was no country called Israel. So when we are talking about Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, at the time he was there, God is mentioning the place as Mecca. So I'm going to give the reference to that, Mecca. It was at the time of Prophet Muhammad, he called the main city, that side, Mecca. Understand the difference. Abraham was not an Arabian. Prophet Muhammad is an Arabian. Every people have the name they call certain locations and place their own way. You understand? So understand the difference here. Good. Aha. Salam. Salis Jilabi. Naganka. Tujis, the realist. Yeah. So I'll be answering questions, not yet. I'll be coming to answering questions. I want to stay on topic so people will get the gist of whatever I'm saying before I start answering questions. So if you have a question, keep it. I'll be coming to that maybe after an hour, right? So when we say pilgrimage, which is Hajj, it is a journey to a sacred place, right? And we are going to find it in Quran chapter 3, verse 97. Let's go and check. So I take you to Surah Al Imran, chapter 3. And I start from verse 96 to verse 97. Oh, sorry. Let me share. I'm sharing the screen here. Yeah. So he says, Inna awwala baytin wudhiya lilnas lalazi bibakkat mubarakan wa hudan lil alamin. He says, indeed, the first house set up for mankind was that which is at Mecca, blessed and a guidance for all people, right? Okay. Then 397, God says, Fihi ayatun bayyinat. Then he says, Maqamu Ibrahima wa man dakhalahu kana aminan. وَلِلَّهِ عَلَى النَّاسِ حِجُّ الْبَيْتِ مَنِ اسْتَطَاعَ إِلَيْهِ سَبِيلًا وَمَنْ كَفَرَ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ غَنِيٌّ عَنِ الْعَالَمِينَ. Therein are signs as evidences. The place of what? Abraham. The place of Abraham. And I'll be taking you to a verse where you see where God explains. Because some people will tell you, oh, how come the place is like this? And oh, there's no something they keep explaining based on the Dan Gibson video, right? I don't have much time. I will have shown that part, right? But let me summarize this. If you watch my previous videos, you understand concerning the Hajj. So therein, the place of Abraham, therein are signs as evidences. The place of Abraham, that is the place Abraham was based, right, at that time. Then whoever enters it, that place, will be safe. And upon the people is a pilgrimage, is a hijju, a hajj. And when we say hijju, it's just one time. If we say hijaj, if God says upon the people is pilgrimages or constant pilgrimage, like you have to do consecutively or repeatedly, then he will mention it in the plural form. But he says hijju, which is one time. It's a pilgrimage to the house for God. However, if you decide to do 2, 3, go how many times, that's up to you. It's a pilgrimage to the house for God. So you do the Hajj for God, right? Then he says, whoever is capable of the way to it, but it's not mandatory. It is only when you have the capable of the means of going there, then yes, you can go. And remember, we are doing Hajj for God. You are not doing it for anybody. It's for God. That's what the verse says, right? As for those who disbelieve, then indeed God avails the worlds. So that is Quran chapter 3, verse 96 to 97. So the Hajj, we do it for God, and then it is not mandatory. Hajj is not mandatory, right? If you are capable of the means to it, you can go. If you don't have the means, no need to worry yourself, right? So now, understanding the place of Abraham, I take you to Quran chapter 14, verse 37. Where Abraham was based before that place later on was named as what? Mecca. So I share the screen. We see the verse. It says, Abraham was making a supplication. In Surah to Ibrahim, verse 37. Our Lord, indeed, I have settled some of my offspring in a valley without planting. At the time he left his family there, his offspring, there was no planting there. There was no, germination of plants at that time. It was a valley where he left his family. Then he says, near your sacred what? House. Right? Meaning a house built dedicated to God. وَأَنَّ الْمَسَاجِدَ لِلَّهِ فَلَا تَدْعُوا مَعَ اللَّهِ أَحَدًا. Masjids are the sacred places built up, dedicated to God, right? So now what Abraham did is he left his offspring at the what? Near the sacred house of God, right? Then he says, our Lord, so that they may establish the what? The litany. There's a salat. So make the minds of the people inclined to them and provide them with fruits. So at the time when Abraham left his family, there was no fruits there. It was a plant, and it was a valley without planting. But when Abraham made the supplication in the future, they got the reward of having fruits. So when you go to Saudi Arabia now, they have fruits. They have like dates and other stuff there, right? So provide them with fruits. Perhaps they will what? They will be thankful, right? So one of the most popular fruits they have is the dates, right? In a spoken language, you will say thamar. But in the Quran, it's actually the name of date is what? Kidwan. When we say kidwan, is the fruit of the date itself. So you find it in Quran chapter 6, verse 99, right? So this is Quran chapter 14, verse 37, telling you where Abraham left part of his offspring, right? He left them next to the Bait al-Haram. of God. So the Bait al-Haram, if you go to Quran chapter 5, verse 2, it's mentioned Bait al-Haram and it's mentioned Masjid al-Haram. If you want to know what is the Bait al-Haram, you go to Quran chapter 5, verse 97. The Kaaba is the Bait al-Haram. Quran chapter 5, verse 97. So let me put it here. So in this verse, chapter 14, verse 37, you see Abraham mentioned what? Sacred house. Right? In the verse here, you see it here. He says, Baitikal Muharram. Baitikal Muharram. So whoever watched my previous lecture on the sacred months, right? The sacred months, I mentioned the meanings of haram, right? So it is the what? The sacred what? House here. So now, if I take you to Quran chapter 5, verse 97. Oh, sorry. Chapter 5, verse 97. Here. So God says, Ja'alallahu al-Ka'bata al-Bayt al-Haram. Then he says, Qiyaman lin-nas wa-shar al-Haram wal-Hadiya wal-Qala'ida zalika litalamu anna Allah ya'lamu ma fi as-samawati wa ma fi al-ard wa anna Allah bi kulli shay'in alima or alim. God has made the Kaaba as the what? Sacred house. When we say something is sacred, it is something religiously dedicated to God, right? So as a sacred bait of what? Standing for mankind. So the bait is there standing for mankind. As well as the what? The sacred month, the Shahr al-Haram. We are still in the month of the sacred month, starting from Ramadan, Shawwal, Zulqa'dah, Zulhijjah. For whoever doesn't know, if you watch my previous lecture concerning the sacred months, you understand what I mean. The sacrifice and the collars, that is the animal neck band. They put the neck band to hold the animal so that each and every person would recognize which animal is theirs, right, for slaughtering. That is to let you know that God knows whatever is in the heavens and whatever is on earth, and that God is aware of what? All things. So the Bayt al-Haram is what we call the Kaaba, and it is different from the Masjid al-Haram. So when you go to Mecca, there is the Masjid al-Haram and then there is the Bayt al-Haram. So I don't know if I can show the picture. I think I have the file here. I can show the picture. Just a minute. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know if this will be clear enough, but let's see if this will do the magic. Sorry about this. I'm trying to see if I can show. Yeah, I don't know if it's clear enough. Can you see it's clear enough? Sorry. I want to make sure you see it clear enough. Yeah, I think it's okay. You can see it. So you see the thing here, the black house here is the Kaaba, and the masjid is around it, right? And one of the mistakes people do is they leave the masjid They leave the masjid hanging, and then they go and face the Kaaba, and they pray to it. That is another mistake. The Kaaba is not there for people to face it and pray towards it. God never says you should pray towards the Kaaba, right? The Kaaba is not there for you to face it to pray, or and people actually initially have to go inside. So I know most of you haven't seen inside before. So let me see if I can share some of the pictures of. Now, what they do is they let people actually worship the house. As you see on the screen, you see people touching it, and then they write the name of Allah, and then they write the name of Muhammad on the house. And people go and worship the houses. They go and worship the house, right? Out of ignorance. They don't know what they are doing, right? They go there, touch it. They don't allow you to go inside. You have to go inside and see, right? So I'm going to share some of the pictures. Now, this is, I think, in the year is it the early 50s? This picture is in the early 50s. Early 50s. They used to allow people to enter inside to see what is inside. Yes, they used to. You see it, and at that time they don't have anything like the name of Muhammad on the house. They didn't write anything like you can see here. For those who don't see what I'm saying, they wrote like they will write the name of Muhammad or other stuff on it, right? You can see here where the mouse is moving up here. Up here, you see Muhammad. For those who, and they wrote Muhammad Rasulullah. This has nothing to do with the real Islam. Back in the days, this is it. They will allow people, when you go for the Hajj, they will allow you to enter it, the Kaaba, and see inside. Right? So for those who have not seen how it looks inside, I'm going to share some of the pictures. This is how it looks inside. So that is like a 360 showing you inside, how the inside looks like, right? It's the camera view which has made it round, but this is how the inside looks, right? They have to allow you to go inside to see what is inside, right? But the current owners will not allow you to do that, right? So that is a problem. So I take you back, and then you see here again, people actually bowing down and facing the house to do their salat, which is wrong. You see here, the imam is standing here where I'm showing you the mouse, and then the bodyguards, the guards are standing and guarding, and then the imam is standing there facing the house. So this is shirk. God never asked you to face the Kaaba. There is no one single verse in the Quran which says face the Kaaba and pray. No. He never asked you to do this. To bow down to the house, to worship the house. No. Right? Which is a wrong thing to do. If you do that, you are a mushrik. Right? So I'm going to play this particular video, which was from the I think 1800s, in the year 1800s, how the place looked like, right? And it has to do with Mecca, when people go for the Hajj. This is how the place looked. I don't know if it is clear enough for you to see, but let me play. And this is an archive from CNN that you are seeing on the screen. And you can see the people there, they look dark. They are dark skin at that time, right? I don't know if it's clear enough. You can give me heads up if it's clear enough for you. So you can see the Kaaba, right? You see the masjid next to it, right? You see the masjid and then you see the Kaaba, right? A lot of things have changed. Back then, it wasn't that in that people don't do it in that sense. But now things have changed a lot. They've invented a lot of things which are not part of Islam, right? You can see this Saudi man sitting here is actually a dark-skinned man, right? Yeah, so see, this is an archive, an old video I just played. I wish I have it with more clarity where you can see it properly, right? Anyways, but this is inside the Kaaba. You see this man standing next to this imam. This is Sudais. This short man here is Sudais. The popular guy you hear reciting the Quran, reading the Quran. That is Sudais here. And then you see this is I think King Fad at that time. He's dead and gone, right? If I get the name right, is it Abdullah something? So here he is standing inside the Kaaba and doing the salat. So if actually the imams or they can do this, why are they facing the Kaaba to pray? Why don't they actually go inside? Why? Who made people face the Kaaba to pray? I don't get it. Who? Who gave you that legislation? Is it in the Quran? Anybody watching, kindly come on later to show me the verse where it says you should face the Kaaba to do salat. So this, you see them inside. They go inside to pray. They don't allow you to do that. What is so special about the house that you have to face it to worship? And you go kissing the stone, fighting with each other? Hasbunallah. Right? Okay, so enough of this one. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay, it is too small for you to see. Let me see. I can download it. Can I? Let me see. Checking to see if I can maximize it the way you can see it properly, right? Yeah, assalamu alaikum for all those who are joining right now. Thank you all for coming. Okay, let me see if I can share the video. No, it wasn't my fault. The video is not clear enough. So even if I make it big, it will be blurry, right? Because of the size of the video, the file wasn't that big enough. So even if I put it on the screen and I make it big, it will be blurry. You don't see it well. So let's manage it like that. It's okay. Yeah. But this is the video from the 1800s. How the Mecca was at the Kaaba. People go to the Masjid. Then we have the pictures I showed you in the early 1950s. How the people go to they allow people to enter the Kaaba to see it. And number one, I gave you a list where I showed you that it has nothing to do with praying and facing the Kaaba. There is nothing like black stone. Number 6, facing the Kaaba to pray. There is no such thing as black stone in the Quran. It is not part of Islam. There is nothing like stoning the devil. You can't see the devil. How can you stone him? You'll be a fool to buy a ticket, go to Saudi Arabia and say you are going to stone the devil. You think the devil is so dumb to go and sit in Saudi Arabia for you, the foolish person, to come and stone him? Masjid in Nabawi, they say when you go to the Hajj, you have to go to this place. It's not part of the Hajj, right? Zamzam water is not part of Islam. So I don't know where they concocted this, right? It's not part of Islam. And then they will ask you, oh, it will heal every sickness. Go and see whether there are no sick people in Saudi Arabia. Go and check and see. There's a lot of sick people still there. Why do they have hospital? If Zamzam water will cure everything, why do they have hospitals and to cure people there, to take care of people there, right? It makes no sense. Don't be fooled by this concept telling you, oh, Zamzam water is the holy water. Where did God mention that? Where did God even mention a water called Zamzam to even tell you this is holy? And then 7 times circling of the Kaaba, it doesn't exist in the Quran. God never instructed anybody to go ritualistic to circulate 7 times. It's not there. Facing of the Kaaba to pray is not instructed by God. As we saw from the pictures, they are facing the Kaaba to pray. It is not instructed by God. So beware of this, right? It's not part of Islam. Now, what people need to understand is the reason why I showed those pictures so that you get to know of the concept of the modern day Islam, which has been invented by shuyukhs, scholars, and people, which has nothing to do with what God actually instructs. And like I said, to know the full gist of the Hajj, I have 2 lectures I've done on my YouTube channel. You go to the playlist, the Hajj series. You can watch and get the notion of the Hajj itself. Now we have the Hajj has to be done in, you can do it in 3 months, right? Somebody was asking me, can I do Hajj in Ramadan? Now, bear in mind that the people in charge of the place now, they are not actually following the real Islam from the Quran. They are following Islam from another external source. So certain rules they have are confused or is confused. They have limited the month of Hajj to 1 month, which is the what? The Zulhijjah. Right? It is Zulhijjah, which has to initially be Shawwal, Zulqa'dah, and Zulhijjah. Ramadan, we can dedicate it to the abstinence, right? I know still some people will travel during that time because if you go to Quran chapter 2, verse 184, people do travel still because they have to make it to the Hajj. But however, in Quran chapter 2, verse 197, I'm going to put the verse here. Quran chapter 2, verse 197. I showed a verse on the screen. Yeah. Yeah. So here God says, Al-Hajju Ashhurul Ma'lumat. The month of what? The month of the pilgrimage, the Hajj, are well known. They are well known or they are fixed. When something is well known, it's fixed, right? So it is not only 1 month. So when this the current people in Saudi Arabia, they have limited it to only 1 month. And then they will gather millions of people in one place in 1 month. And even to limit it to 10 days, it is very bad. This is not, it's un-Quranic and un-Islamic, right? And that is why many times they announce tragedies there. So the months of the Hajj are well known, they are fixed. So whoever obligates the pilgrimage in them, it is not 1 month. In them, if you obligate to do for yourself in Shawwal, in Zulqa'dah, in Zulhijjah, thus he shall not what? Behave obscenely, rafatha. You don't have to behave of sin, act of sin. Neither act iniquity, nor argue during the what? The pilgrimage. So if people are saying that the Hajj is debate, if they tell you Hajj is, it means debate, well, people forget to realize that in Arabic language, one word can have different meanings. It has a lot of meanings, right? And then they will say the Hajj means debate. And God is telling you during the Hajj, do not argue, do not do jidal. When we say jidal, is to argue, right? So do not go and argue or debate during the Hajj. So how can Hajj now means debate? What is the understanding there, right? And whatever you do of good, God knows it. Right? And whatever you do of good, God knows it. Then he says, and be provided. So you have to be provided for yourself when you are going for the Hajj. For indeed, the best of what provision is piousness. You have to be pious because the essence of all these things you are going to do is piety. So piousness. So reference B, that is reference to God, oh, those of intelligence. So if you have intelligence, beware of God, because that is the reason why you are doing the Hajj. You are doing the Hajj for God. You are not doing it for people or for Prophet Muhammad. You are doing it for God, right? So we can see in Quran chapter 2, verse 197, the Hajj is supposed to do in consecutive months. We have the Ashurul Hurum, we have Ramadan, Shawwal, Zulqa'dah, and Zulhijjah. If you watch my last lecture concerning the sacred months, you see it there. So this Ashurul Hurum, after Ramadan precisely, you can decide to do it in Shawwal. You can decide to do it in Zulqa'dah. You can decide to do it in Zulhijjah. But our advice, if you are following the Quran for your guidance, kindly stay away from the month of Zulhijjah. Because when you go there, you are forced to do what they are doing. Do it in other months. Some people will say, Uba, they will limit me. That I cannot get the chance to do it the way I want. I will show you the patterns which you have to follow. And that is it. That is enough for your Hajj, right? Okay. So then, that is Quran chapter 2, verse 197. So when I take it to 196, let's see what the verse says, right? And God says, and complete the Hajj and the what? And the Umrata. So that is the Umrah is the visit. You visit a place and you stay there for a while. This is what we call Umrah. You visit and you stay there for a while. And that is why Hajj can be done in 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, and so how many days you want to do. But the list is 2 days, right? List is 2 days, according to Quran chapter 2, verse 203. I'll be giving the references as time goes on. And complete the pilgrimage and the visit for God. But if you are prevented, then whatever will be easy of the what? The animal sacrifice, which is the sacrifice. And do not shave your heads until the sacrifice has reached its location. So when you have made a sacrifice of animal sacrifice, the sacrifice you have done, it has to be shared to those who are content and the poor and everybody. So after you have done that, take it to the location of sharing and everything, then you can decide to shave your head. This is a ritual, right? And whoever is sick among you, or with him is an injury to what? To his head, then a ransom of what? Abstinence, that's fasting. Or you give sadaqah, right? Or you do what? A religious rite. And when you are safe, then whoever will be what? Provided for the what? Umrah. At the what? The Hajj. Then whatever will be what? Will be easy of the animal sacrifice. But whoever cannot find these options God has given, then you have to fast for what? 3 days. During the Hajj, you do 3 days of fasting there. Then he says what? And 7 when you have returned, or when you return back to your home or your country. This completes 10 days of what? Siyam, right? That is for those whose people will not be what? Attending the Masjid al-Haram. So if your people are not going to the Masjid al-Haram for the Hajj, this is for you. If you are also not doing the animal sacrifice, these are for you to do the fasting for 10 days, right? So then it says, and beware of God and know that God is severe in what? Penalty. So we can see the Hajj here. You do the Hajj and the Umrah for God. You have to complete them. Now, somebody will say, what if I cannot go in the month of the Hajj itself? Can I do Hajj in the other months? Because in Saudi Arabia, they allow you to come and do Umrah during Ramadan, Shawwal, and then Zulqa'dah. Then Zulhijjah, they allow the Hajj itself, that once they have put down the Hajj. So you, the one who follow the Quran for your guidance, I would recommend if you go in the months like Ramadan, Shawwal, and Zulqa'dah, so that you have your peace of mind to practice the way the Quran wants you to do. And I'll give you the simplicity of this. It's not difficult, right? Good. So according to the Quranic way of doing it, first of all, I'll give you step by step. By the Quranic way, number one, you have to put yourself in the state of sanctity. When you are doing the Hajj according to the Quran, you put yourself in the state of what? What we call sanctity. The state of sanctity is to purify yourself, whereby you don't do anything that corrupts your soul. So we call it the state of holiness. So we go to, first of all, when you're about to do Hajj, you perform Hajj, this is the first thing you bear in mind. before you perform the Hajj, in order to know the month of Hajj or the beginning of the month of Hajj, you have to use the crescent according to Quran chapter 2, verse 189. In Quran chapter 2, verse 189, here, when God is saying that what? Yes, alunaka anil ahillat kul hiya mawaqitu linnas wal hajj. So he says they ask you about the crescents. Say they are timings for the people and the what? The Hajj, the pilgrimage. That is what you use to know the time of the Hajj, right? So when the Hajj is started, it is a new crescent you will know with it, right? Now the verse continues, and then he said what? And it is not righteousness to enter houses from their backs, but righteous is one who references and enters houses through their doors. So beware of God, perhaps you will succeed. Now this is a metaphor of an I would say, like, this is a deep saying here, whereby you have to be straightforward with the laws you have been given or instructions you have been given. Don't go sideways away from the instruction, what God has actually instructed you to do. Right? So God says they ask you about the Christians, say they are timings for the people and the Hajj. So you use the Christians to know the beginning of the time of the Hajj, right? And in Quran chapter 22, verse 26 to 27, God asked Ibrahim alayhi salam to even announce to the people concerning the Hajj. So when the time is up, there has to be an announcement to the people that it is the time for the pilgrimage, right? So that they will know they can go for the Hajj. Yeah. So in the first place, you put yourself in the state of holiness, sanctity, right? Which is number one. So as I mentioned earlier in Quran chapter 2, verse 197, I read it earlier, Quran chapter 2, verse 197, the state of sanctity. And how is the state of sanctity supposed to be? He says what? If you obligates the pilgrimage in them during those months, you decide to go for the Hajj, whether you want to go in Shawwal 1 month, within that month, when you obligate yourself to go, thus put in mind, he shall not behave obscenely. It is not for you to act obscene, neither act iniquity, nor argue during the Hajj. So when you go for the Hajj, you avoid these three things God is telling you, because you have to put yourself in the state of sanctity, right? So that is the state of holiness when you are going for the Hajj in the first place. Then again, I take you to Quran chapter 5, verse 95 to 96. Quran chapter 5, verse 95 to 96. When I finish these parts, I'll give the chance for questions and answers to come in, right? So Quran chapter 5, verse 95, and I will read up to 96. So he says, "Oh, you who believe, do not kill a game while you are in the state of holiness or sanctity, right? And whoever among you kills it deliberately." So during the Hajj, whilst you are in the state of sanctity, you have avoided certain things God asks you to avoid. You do not have to go and hunt for a game. When we say game, is an animal land on the land that you go and hunt. Don't do that. And whoever among you kills it deliberately, then the requital is the like of the livestock that you have killed, right? If you kill a livestock by animal game, right, like hunting, you will replace it, because it's against the rules God has put down for you to do. Then it says, which he killed, for which two of justice among you shall decide a sacrifice to be delivered at the what? The Kaaba, or an atonement of feeding poor people, or amend that in what? Fasting, siyam, that he may taste the evil consequences. Oh, sorry. 96, right? Oh, sorry. I start from 95. I made a mistake. He may taste the evil consequences of his affair or his matter. God has pardoned what was done previously, but whoever repeats, then God will take vengeance on him. And God is mighty with vengeance. Now, when you go to 96, He says, lawful for you is hunting at the sea. You can go fishing, right? It's allowed when you go for the Hajj. You can go fishing, whether you go to any place to go and fish, hunting. That's allowed during that time. Then he says, and its food. So the food of the sea animal is allowed for you to also hunt for, as enjoyment for you and for the travelers at that time. So they can enjoy such things that God has given, right? But unlawful to you is hunting from the land, as long as you are in the state of holiness, sanctity, because you try to avoid certain things that God refrains you from to keep yourself pure, right? And beware of God to whom you will be assembled. Now, so this is one thing you have to keep in mind when you have planned to do the Hajj. You have to put yourself in the state of sanctity or the state of holiness. That is number one, objective for the Hajj. Then number two, we have the Hajj and the Umrah, which is mentioned in Quran chapter 2, verse 196. Right? Chapter 2, verse 196. Chapter 2, verse 196. So God wants you to complete the Hajj and the what? Umrah for him. Right? As I read earlier. And I showed you what needs to be done. Right? So that is part of the objective you have when you are going for the Hajj. Right? So if you are not able to go for the Hajj and you are prevented, then you have to do the animal sacrifice. Right? That is an animal sacrifice dedicated to God. You want to know that? I give you the verse here. Quran chapter 22. Let's start from verse 32, right? Surah Al-Hajj. I take you to verse 32. Yeah. Here God says that, and whoever venerates the rituals of God, then indeed it is from the piousness of the hearts, right? For you are benefits in them for a fixed term. Then the allocation is at the ancient house, that is the Bait al-Haram, right? And for every nation we have made rites, that is a ritual, rites, that they may commemorate the name of God over what he has provided for them of livestock animals, right? Thus, your God is one God, so submit to him and what? And give good news to those who are humble. Then I take you to verse 36. It says, and the livestock animals. If you read chapter 6, verse 143 to 144, you understand the 8 types of livestock animals God has given for animal slaughter. And it's further mentioned in Quran chapter 39, verse 6, right? Concerning 8 livestock God has given. So God says, the livestock animals, al-budna, which we have made for you, are among the rituals of God. There is good in them, the animals, for you. So mention the name of God upon them in rows, right? When you are slaughtering them. And when they are falling on their what? On their sides, then eat from them and feed those who are content and those who are miserable. Thus, have we subjugated for you, perhaps, have you subjugated them for you, perhaps you will be thankful, right? So the animals are made for us to use for the animal sacrifice. To know the different types of animals, go to Quran chapter 6, verse 143 to 144 to understand better. This light is shining in my eyes so much. Yeah. I'll be coming to the question and answers. So please, I'm almost done with this part. Then I'll allow the question and answers, please. So number one, you have to put yourself in the state of sanctity when you have obligated for yourself the Hajj, right? Put yourself in that to refrain from what God has refrained you. Then the number two is to complete the pilgrimage and the visit for God. But if you are prevented, then whatever will be easy of the animal sacrifice, right? But do not shave your heads until the animal sacrifice has reached its location. And whoever is sick among you or with him is an injury to his head, then ransom by doing the fasting, or give charity alms, or perform a religious rite, right? That is to serve as a ransom for that. Number 3, chapter 5 verse 1, it says, "Oh, you who have believed, fulfill the agreements." So there's an agreement between us and God, because remember, the Hajj is for God, dedicated to God. Quran chapter 3 verse 97. "So lawful for you are livestock animals, except what is recited to you, not adorned for hunting, while you are in the state of what? Sanctity or holiness. Indeed, God decides whatever he intends." So keep that in mind. So number 3, number 1 is state of sanctity. Number 2 is to put yourself in the frame of completing the Hajj and the Umrah. Number 3, even if you have done the Hajj and the Umrah, you are obligated to do the animal sacrifice. If you cannot do the animal sacrifice, then you have to do fasting 3 days over there. When you go back to your country, you do 7 days. So it completes 10 days. But if you cannot do animal sacrifice over there, then you have to ransom by the fasting. But then if you go there for the Hajj after, then you have to do the animal sacrifice, right? Now, I take you to, when I read Quran chapter, earlier on when I read Quran chapter 22 verse 36, when I finished the verse to 37, what you need to understand is some people think when we slaughter the animals, God is interested in the meat or the blood. That's why God asks you to slaughter it. No, it's just an instruction to see which of us will do the command of God. Just like when God told Adam, "Do not approach this tree," right? In Quran chapter 7, verse 19 to 20, when he told Adam, "Don't go next to the tree," it doesn't harm God the least in any way. Nor does God want you to do that no, it's just an instruction to see you, the human being, whether you follow the instructions. So Quran chapter 22 verse 37, God never attains their meat, the meat of the animals you are going to slaughter. He never attains it, nor their blood. Nor did he ask you to slaughter so that he get blood. No. What he attains is, but he attains the piousness from you. The piousness, that's the objective of the human being to us, between us and God. And that is why God gave you the book to serve as a guidance for those who are pious, right? Muttaqin. So taqwa is the objective here, to see who will do what God has instructed from you. Then it says, "Thus has he subjugated the animals, them, for you, that you may magnify God over what he has guided you." So give good news to what? To those who are benevolent. Yeah. So now we see the objective. Number 1, state of sanctity. Number 2, you have to what? Put the purpose of the Hajj and the Umrah. That's what you are going to do. Number 3, the animal sacrifice. Number 4, the Kaaba, right? So visiting the Kaaba, when you go there, you have to visit the Kaaba. Visiting the Kaaba, what you need to do is mentioned in Quran chapter 22, verse 27 to 29. So I'm going to put the verse here. Chapter 22. Yeah. Verse 27 to 29. So I put it on the screen. Let's see. Chapter 22, verse 27, and I read to verse 29, right? So here it says, "And announce." When we say azid, is to give an announcement among the people. "And announce among or to the people about the what? The Hajj, the pilgrimage. They will come to you." At that time, it was instructed to Abraham, right? Because that is the one we are following his creed. "So they will come to you by walking and by every means." So people back then, they go with animals, camel, they travel. Some go by sheep, some will go by aeroplane. So that's how it goes, by every means. "Coming from every deep road," right? Then verse 28, "that they may witness the benefits for themselves and commemorate the name of God during the well-known" what? days, right? Because initially he gave you 3 days for the Hajj. But if you do 2 days, no problem. If you want to do more days, no problem. So 3 days for the Hajj, so well-known days, right? Then he says, over what he has provided for them of livestock, animals. So eat of them and feed those who are what? Miserable and the needy. Verse 29, and let them conclude their quenching after eating, and let them what? Fulfill their vows, and let them walk around the ancient house. So walking around the ancient house, you go and see, it's just like a sightsee when you go to a museum, the way you walk around to see an ancient artifact or something, an antique, right? So you walk around, it doesn't say walk around 7 times. It doesn't say go around 7 times. No. The way you visit a place, you go to see the place. That kind, right? Right. So that is Quran chapter 22, verse 29. Now, the next objective that you have to put in mind, that is objective number 4. Then we have the Safa and Marwa. So when you go for the Hajj, you have to visit the Kaaba, and then you have to visit Safa wal Marwa, which is mentioned in Quran chapter 2, verse 158. Quran chapter 2, verse 158. It says, indeed, Safa, which is the hillock, Safa and the Marwa, which is the rock, the big rock. When you go there, away from the Kaaba, the Masjid al-Haram side, you walk. They made it left and right where you have to walk and go and visit the places, right? So the Safa and the Marwa are among the what? The rituals of God. So whoever makes a Hajj, we perform a pilgrimage to the what? To the what? To the Bait, al-Bait, or pays a visit, or you do the Imrah, the Itamara, there is no blame on him to walk around them both. This both Safa and Marwa. When you walk around them, there's no blame on you, right? And whoever volunteers well, then indeed God is grateful and omniscient. So that is Quran chapter 2, verse 158. Safa and Marwa is part of the visitation you are going to do, right? Then that is the 5th objective. Now, the 6th and 7th objective is what we call Arafah. You go to the Arafah. So the first objective, after I've shown you the sanctity, and then you put your purpose of going for the Hajj and the Umrah, you do the animal sacrifice by the shaving your head after the meat has been distributed. Then now, what you need to do is you have to have the objective of what? Going to visit the Kaaba. Then the objective of the visiting the Safa and the Marwa. The objective of going to Arafah, the mountain Arafah there, right? To visit there. So when you go to Quran chapter 2, verse 198 to chapter 2, verse 199, I'm going to read the verses so you see what it says there, right? Chapter 2, verse 198. There is no blame on you to seek favor from what? Your Lord. So when you proceed from Arafah, you see Arafah, if you proceed from Arafah, then remember God at the what? The sacred site. That is Mash'ar al-Haram. It is a sacred place where they now call what? Muzdalifah. They gave it the name Muzdalifah. When you come from the Arafah, which is like the mountain, you come down, there is a place, the site, you see people. I don't know if I can show it on the screen. I think I have it somewhere here. Wait. Let's hope I have it so I can share. Yeah, okay, I have the pictures. I can share it so that you see it, right? Let's do this. Kindly bear with me. I just want to. I need to download this file so that I can be able to show you easily. Whilst I'm talking, it will be easier. Yeah. So I go here. Now, this one you're watching on the screen. This one you're watching on the screen. This is where we have, you see the Arafah is there. The mountain is there, the Arafah, and then the space they are sitting down there on the open space is the Mash'ar al-Haram. That is the what they call Muzdalifah around that side, right? So when you come from the Arafah, you go to the mountain, you walk downwards, you come down to the open sides. That is the Mash'ar al-Haram. So the verse I gave earlier, you see the picture. I hope you can see the picture clearly, right? This is the open space. So we have the Arafah and then Muzdalifah. So what you need to do is, according to the verse, Quran chapter 2, verse 198. Oh, sorry. Let me see if I can add. Yeah, sorry. This thing is not opening here. Yeah, anyways, it's okay. I will just do it this way. It's okay. So I stop this. I present this. So Quran chapter 2, verse 190. There's no blame on you to seek favor from what? From your Lord. So when you proceed from Arafah, when you proceed from the mountain, then remember God at the sacred site. The site you see, open space. I just showed you the picture, the open space, right? That people are there on the open space. You rest there, and then that's where you commemorate God. You call God to remembrance. And remember him as he has guided you, for indeed you were before it among the misguided, right? Now, the details of these instructions you are following is called guidance. You are following an instruction you have been given. Now, following it in accordance with the way God has commanded you shows that you have been guided. That is guidance. It's just like when you're driving and you have navigator. When you're driving, the navigator is telling you where to pass. If it tells you go right and you turn right, it means you receive guidance. Now, so the notion of coming from the Arafah, going to the sacred site, which they call the Muzdalifah now, that you be on that site there to remember God is part of the rituals God, the way God has instructed you to do. When you read up to verse 199, afterwards, proceed from where the people proceed. So if the people are proceeding, right, you proceed from where the people are proceeding with them and seek the forgiveness of God. Whilst you are seeking forgiveness from God, indeed, God is forgiving and merciful. He has instructed you to do something and you are doing it. And this is a ritual. I gave you the instance from the beginning. It's a ritualistic act. Now remember, rituals are not supposed to make sense to everybody. Right? Somebody will say, oh, I'm doing this ritual. It doesn't make sense. Yes, rituals are not supposed to make sense to everybody. Just like some people will tell you, oh, magic doesn't make sense, or believing in angels doesn't make sense. We have people who tell you their opinions. Oh, I don't believe it is this. Oh, I don't believe it's a ritual in Islam. That's up to them, right? Like I said, babashuaib is available for a dialogue. Anybody who says otherwise, that babashuaib is misleading the people, kindly join me and let's have fun. Yeah. So that is Quran chapter 2, verse 198 to 199, right? So it tells you when you proceed from the Arafah, you go to the Mashhar al-Haram, which they call the Muzdalifah. You rest there, and then you commemorate God, you seek for forgiveness, and then you proceed from where the people proceed. So according to the Quran, these instances I gave you, this is where it gives you the is up to the instance. It doesn't say that, oh, you have after this go and stone the devil. It's not there. You don't see anything like that. Now, if you go to Quran chapter 2, verse 203, it says, and remember God during the limited number of days. But whoever hastens in 2 days, then there is no sin upon him. And whoever delays, then there is no sin upon him. For whoever is pious and beware of God and know that you will be assembled before God. So 3 days is for the Hajj. If you want to do 2 days, there's no blame on you, right? So 3 days is what you are supposed to do, the Hajj, right? Now, according to the Quran, the simplicity of the Hajj I just gave you, they are just 6 or 7 instances. The number one instance I told you, if you're planning to go for Hajj, the first one is to put yourself in the state of sanctity. So let me see if I can give you here. So number one is the state of sanctity. Oh, shit. Yeah, I shared a screen. Number one is the state of sanctity or state of holiness. We say sanctity or holiness. Right? If you're going for the Hajj, put in mind, you need to be in the state of holiness or sanctity. To know how that works, you refer to Quran chapter 2, verse 197, and then Quran chapter what? 5, verse 95 to 96. You need to put this in mind, right? Then number two is what? To have the purpose of going for the Hajj and the Umrah, to know the objective, the Hajj and the Umrah. That is according to Quran chapter 2, verse 196. It gives you the options there, Hajj and the Umrah. Then number 3 is to know about the animal sacrifice. That is the Hadiyah. As an animal sacrifice. To know which animals you have to sacrifice, you can go to Quran chapter 39, verse 6, and chapter 6, verse 143 to 144, right? And let's see, we can add chapter 22, verse 36 to 37. It talks about the animal sacrifice. And objective number 4, we have the Kaaba. That is, you have to go to the Kaaba, to visit it, to see it, to visit it, right? And then objective number 5 is to go to Safa and Marwa. So Safa and Marwa, oh, sorry, this one is here, is 22, verse 27 to 29. And the Safa and Marwa is mentioned in Quran chapter 2, verse 158. So objective number 4, you go to the Kaaba. Objective number 5, Safa and Marwa. Objective number 6, you go to the Arafah. That is Quran chapter 2, verse 198 to 199. So that is objective number 6. You go to Arafah and then Muzdalifah, or we can say Muzdalifah, or we can say the Mash'ar al-Haram, right? That is the sacred site. So these are the objectives. Objective number 1, state of sanctity, holiness. Number 2, Hajj and Umrah. Number 3, Hadiya. Number 4, go to the Kaaba. Number 5, Safa and Marwa. Number 6, Arafah and Muzdalifah, or the what? Mash'ar al-Haram. So these are the instances you see on the screen, right? So we have number 1 up to number 6, right? Or you can say up to number 7. So 1 to 6, 7. So these are it. You have it there. You can write it down. Then you remember, right? So you see it here. Good. So these are the things you need to observe according to the Quran. There is no instance of, let's say, I put it here. Wait. I'm trying to share something here. Let me see. Yeah. There is no instance of the black stone, not in the Quran. Black stone, no. Stoning the devil, no. Going to visit Masjid al-Nabawi is not part of the Hajj. The Hajj is for God, it's not for the Prophet. You are doing Hajj for God, not for the Prophet. So there is no notion where God says you have to go and visit Masjid al-Nabawi. It's the Masjid are dedicated for God. A Masjid is dedicated for God. If you say Masjid of the Prophet, Masjid dedicated to Prophet, are you going to worship the Prophet? Zamzam water, not in the Quran. 7 times circling of the Kaaba, not from the Quran. Facing the Kaaba to pray, not from the Quran. So these things are not from the Quran. They are foreign things, right? Pay attention to that. They are not Quranic. And then when you go, the dress code of wearing the white, the gowns they ask you to white, it is not God who instructed. However, I don't see any problem wearing it, but it is not an instruction from God, right? There are certain things which doesn't fall in the parameters of what God has instructed. But however, when you are found doing it, I don't see a problem. Like for instance, if you go to the Hajj and you decide to go and buy the Zamzam water or to get it for free, that's up to you. It is not haram, but however, it is not an instruction from God. Somebody is asking if touching the Kaaba is allowed. Touching it, God never say if you touch it is haram. No. It's like you see something, you know, when people go to a museum, even though they put things in the glass and they cover it, they protect it, touching it, that's, well, I cannot say that is haram. But however, you should know the parameters of the things you are trying to do and to avoid being categorized in the same instance as the mushriks. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are the details I've given you. The reason why you don't see me going in depth with certain issues is because I have full lectures on the Hajj. I have it on my YouTube channel. You find it in the playlist. It's called the Hajj series, right? So when you check, you find the lecture itself. But here, I'm just giving you the instructions to show you the things you have to follow in order to get the Hajj done. And like I said, it is not mandatory on you. It's only when you are capable to go, according to Quran chapter 3, verse 97. So let me put the phone numbers. If you have any questions, you can ask. Then, oh, yeah, sorry. I was supposed to show you a picture. Let me see. I was supposed to show you. I've shown you the Arafah and the Safa and the Marwa. When you go, there, when you go to you go to Mecca, they put the signs where you know where to go. So I'm going to show you the picture so that you know where to go, right? So this is the Safa. You see it like this. This is the Safa. You see the sign. They put a notice there, the sign where you go to visit the Safa, right? So this is Safa where it starts. So you go this place, Safa, and then we have the Marwa. So I open it for you also. Then we have the Marwa. I show you the picture also. So that is the Marwa. And when you go, you see the signboard with the telling you the location. So this is the Marwa here. So we have Safa and Marwa, right? These are only to be visited. It's just like a sightseeing. It's just like a student who studies engineering or science or whatever. You go to the museum to see certain things about what you have learned or you know about or you believe in, right? So that is the purpose. You're going there to visit such a place. It is not like you're going there, oh, I'm going there, all my past sins will be forgiven, and I'm now a new person, and then no. So that is Marwa. I've shown you Safa, and this is Marwa. Then again, I show you, let's say, what else can I show you? The inside the Kaaba, from the inside, this is the inside. You see people are inside. You see, this is how the inside looks, inside the Kaaba itself, right? Back in the days, they used to allow people to go enter to see what is inside. These days, they don't. I don't know why, but they don't. Back in the days, they used to, I showed you the picture earlier, right? So this is the inside the Kaaba. Then again, let me see. The next one, what picture can I show you? Then we have the video. So let me show you the video. It's like a 2 minutes video. So let me see. I can show you the video.
حفيد الشيخ عبد العزيز أكبر أحفاد الشيخ عبد العزيز الشيخ اللي يقول في النت في الشاشة. نت مين يا عم؟ هذا شيخ خاص. هذا الاعتبار يجي شيخ بارك
Yeah, so that's the video. Somebody who happens to go inside is the one recording the way the inside is. So for those who don't know how the inside looks like, that is the picture or the video to show you how the inside is. So pretty much, I think I've shown you all the pictures I have to show that you need to know of, right? I've shown you all. So the main purpose of the Hajj is for visit. You go and visit and see all these places. There's nothing like you're going there to worship a house, to kiss a house, to kiss a stone, to go and do this. No, there's no harm in going to a place to visit. And however, I didn't say it is mandatory. It is for people who are capable of the means to it, according to Quran chapter 3, verse 97. You go and see these places God is speaking about from the book, right? It's just like a student of history who have read something in the syllabus or a book, but they go there to see these artifacts, to see these antiques, to see these ancient places God has mentioned or being mentioned in the books they read. So that is the main purpose. So there's nothing like, oh, yeah, I'm going there and this is where God is based. I'm going to worship God there. No, that's not the objective, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, let me put the number. I'm supposed to take my medication because I slept. Let me see. There's a WhatsApp number there. Whoever wants to call and ask a question, you can type your questions as well. And I'm going to send the link. Whoever wants to come as a guest to ask a question, you're welcome. I'm putting the link in the message side. Then I'll go and read some questions which people have asked so that yeah. So let me see what I've pasted. Yeah, salams. Just Bina, sister Bina, I see you. Okay. We have our first caller. Yusuf is calling.
Wow.
Yeah, salam alaikum. Your line. Wa alaikum salam. Your line is very bad.
Hello.
Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm Yusuf.
Yusuf, where are you calling from?
From Nigeria.
Okay, nice to meet you. How may I help you?
What's my question goes on that? What's the difference between? My first question is what's the difference between Hajj and Umrah? That's my number one question. And the second question is that know that when they are performing the Hajj, they usually say that how do we remember Allah? Is it by saying labbaik Allahumma labbaik, labbaik la sharika lak labbaik, innal hamd wa ni'mata lakal mulk la sharik? Is that what Allah waskurullah? And my third question is that when we want to maybe slot a rams, it's Allah said that as lazy yaskurullah fi. That and the one that they remember the name of Allah. So I don't want to. How do we? Is it by mentioning the name of Allah or Allah? I want to kill this for you, or what's the mean by waskullah fi?
Okay.
That's my question.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, I'll answer the question. Thank you. Yeah, so the brother you see from Nigeria as I think he has 3 questions, right? But let's take this first question. The first question he asked about the meaning of the Hajj and the Umrah. The Hajj is the pilgrimage itself, which I defined a journey to a sacred place. So from a far place, you have a journey, you go to a sacred place. The objective is to a sacred place. That makes it a pilgrimage. Then when we say Umrah, it is an act of visit. You visit a place where you stay for temporary for some few days. Like you visit the place to stay there for a while. When you go for the Hajj, you visit places like the Masjid al-Haram, the Kaaba, Safa and Marwa. You visit the Arafah, the Muzdalifah. Visit these places. You stay there for days. And these days you are staying there is what we call the Umrah. You are there. It's an act of visiting, but you are inhabiting this place. Inhabiting the place and staying for a while. That is the Umrah. So it is the act of staying there for a while before you leave. That is the Umrah. But coming far away from where you are to go to the sacred place for the objective of what? Pilgrimage. That is what is the Hajj. So Hajj and then the Umrah, mentioned in Quran chapter 2, verse 196. So when you go for the Hajj, you do both, right? You do the Hajj and the Umrah. You visit and then you stay there for a while. Maximum, the least is 2 days, but you can do 3 days and above, right? And then, no, please, don't call it yet. Let me finish with the question. I'm answering. Let me finish with the question, then the next caller can call. Yeah. Now, so the next question he asked was how to remember God. The point of remembrance is actually to mention God, but it is in the line with remembering God as well. So, for instance, in Quran chapter 3, verse 191, in 191, where he says, الذين يذكرون الله قياما وقعودا وعلى جنوبهم ويتفكرون في خلق السماوات والأرض. And he says, ربنا ما خلقت هذا باطلا سبحانك فقنا عذاب النار. That is in Quran chapter 3, verse 191. If I can share the screen, let me see. Yeah. Quran chapter 3, verse 191, it says, who commemorates? So the word yazkuruna, zakara, you can say remember, you can say mention, or you can say commemorate. So by commemorating God, you do that by standing, sitting, and upon their side. So when God says remember him or mention him or commemorate him, this is what it's meant by remembering God. Not like just remembering in your head like that. No, you mention or you commemorate. So this is the example of commemoration. So these believers who commemorate God by standing, sitting, and what? Upon their sides, and ponder about the creation of what? Of the heavens and the earth. Our Lord, you did not create these in vain. Glory be to you, and safeguard us from the punishment. So this is just an example I'm giving you. So when you go for the Hajj, the commemoration you are going to do, the remembrance of God you are going to do, falls in line with the things you remember God with. The amazement of what things God has done for you. That is the remembrance that you do, the commemoration of God. The last thing he asked was concerning the animal sacrifice, right? When God says we mention his name on the animals. When you are slaughtering the animal, in that context, it says, so mention the name of God upon them. Mention. It's like you are slaughtering an animal, you say, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, and you slaughter. So this is mentioning the name of God upon that thing. Just like when you are going to eat food, you say Bismillah in the name of God, you eat, right? So that is where you mention the name of God. So the word zakara, it means mention, it means remember, it means commemorate, and so on. So that is your answers to the question you asked, right? Let's see the next caller who was calling. Let me see if I can call them back. Yes. Salam, your name and where you're calling from.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, brother. Your name and where you're calling from. I think where the person is, the place is, the network is not good or something. Let's try again and see. Brother, I think where you are, your distance is very, very bad. It is generating some sound is very, very bad. No, the sound is very, very bad. If it repeats again, I will not pick you again, right? Brother, I can't pick you again, please. Can you send a message on WhatsApp? Just send me a text message. If you are watching, just send me a message with your question or a voice message via WhatsApp. Just send a voice. I'll play your audio. People will hear it. Don't call. where you are from, where you are calling from, that the line is not that good, please. Right? So let me see. Somebody says what? He said the gold plate inside the Kaaba has the name of Allah and Muhammad written. The same height and print size, which shows that the two are projected to be equal. Are you okay with that? No, I'm not okay with that. If you have watched from the beginning, I was even talking about the Kaaba. They put the name of Muhammad on it, which is not advised to be done. The reason why I, for instance, I'm not there, I'm not going there, is because of these things, right? The place is supposed to be in the hands of the righteous people. Righteous people will not see to it that these corruptions are taking place there. So I give an example. If you go to Quran chapter 9 verse 19, it says, have you rendered the providing of water or taking care of the structures to pilgrimage and destruction of the Masjid al-Haram as one who believes in God and the last day, strives in the way of God? They are not equal in front of God, and God does not guide the transgressing people. Quran chapter 22 verse 25, indeed those who have disbelieved and repelled from the way of God and the sacred masjid, which we have made for mankind, wherein those abiding and the nomad are equal, and whoever there desires therein apostasy through injustice, we will make him taste a painful punishment. Chapter 8 verse 34 to 35, but why should God not punish them while they are repelling from the Masjid al-Haram? And they were not its guardians. Its guardians are only those who are pious, but most of them do not know. Right? Verse 35, and their prayer at the house was only singing and clapping. So taste the punishment for what you have been disbelieving. Now, the reason why I'm reading these verses for you, right? Let me top it all with another verse. Chapter 2, verse 143. And thus have we made you, the believers at the time of Muhammad, a central nation, so that you may be witnesses over the people, and the messenger will be a witness over you. We did not assign the Qibla at which you are, except that we may find out who will follow the messenger from one who will turn back on his heels. And it is not important except for those whom God has guided. And God is not to waste your faith. Indeed, God is to the people kind and merciful. Now, the reason why I read all these verses is to show you that the people who are taking care of the Masjid al-Haram, the Kaaba, and the place are not righteous. They are not supposed to be its guardians. They brought corruption there. So these corruptions have made it such a way that when you go, you are not comfortable. So that is why I showed the instances of people going to stone the devil is not Quranic. Kissing the black stone is not Quranic. It's not even, black stone is not even mentioned in the Quran. And the Kaaba, the black thing they put around it, they are the ones who put it. The Kaaba initially wasn't black like that. They are the ones who put the black thing around it, the cloak, right? So certain things have been added. I don't condone going to Hajj in this instance, right? But the point is, you are not worshiping it. You are not going there to worship the house. Neither are you going there to do these certain things they are doing outside the context of the Quran. And besides, the house, if you say they've plated the name of Muhammad or put the name of Muhammad and God equally, it's a text written. When I showed the picture earlier, let me see if I can show the picture again. It was the text arrangement of a text together, and then it involves the name of God and the prophet inside. But it's not as if they put it the way you see in the mosque. They put God's name and Muhammad's name together in one place like that. So there's a difference in the way you've seen it.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yes, wa alaikum salam, brother. Your name and where you're calling from.
This is Ganyu calling from Ghana.
Ganiu.
Yes.
Okay, Ganiu calling from Tamale. How may I help you? You can ask one or two questions before we go.
Please, I want to ask, has the story of Isaac Newton reached you?
The story of Isaac Newton.
Yeah.
Yes.
Has it reached you? So can you briefly describe him?
That's not the program we are doing here.
I want us to analyze something.
Then bring your analysis.
So, you said you heard about Sir Isaac Newton, right?
Yes.
How did you hear about him?
Now you tell me what you are going to say. I've heard about him. I'm not here to tell you his story. So you bring your issue.
I mean, was it through, records or just how you heard about him? That's what I'm asking.
First of all,
From history,
did you see the video, the lecture I'm doing?
yeah, but the reason I ask this is because you said any question from the ask.
No. That's not what I said.
Really?
No.
So we can't analyze this.
That's not, if you want to, if you are coming here to argue or have a debate or whatever, you can arrange that. Then we talk about that. Look at the program I'm doing. I'm talking about the Hajj. If anything you are going to say is not related to Hajj, we don't need that here. And more or less, to make it more not interesting, you are here to talk about Isaac Newton, a scientist. We are not here to even discuss a scientist or something. We are here to discuss
But
the topic.
sometimes when you need answers, you have to bring forth analysis so that we can analyze and see which way is right.
Yeah, but not off topic. You don't go to a classroom when a teacher is teaching, you go and talk about football. It doesn't work that
You
way.
see, I repeat, is because you said any question can be asked.
I didn't say any question. You have questions pertaining to the lecture I did. That's how. Is it the first time of watching me?
No, I've been following your program.
So I said, after my lectures, I will allow the questions to come in. People are asking me questions pertaining to the lectures I'm doing. So then now I open the phone line so people can ask questions pertaining to the lecture. If you are a good student, you don't go to a classroom and a teacher talks about, let's say, a football. Then after football, you go and ask him about basketball. That is not how a good student asks questions. You take questions from the subject of discussion, then you ask me a question. Then it's easy. Then the other people can benefit. But if you come and say Isaac Newton's, I should tell you.
Then since it's not relevant to the subject or the topic, I would like to arrange a debate with you so that we can discuss further.
Are you a scholar?
I'm not a scholar, unfortunately.
In which aspect are we going to debate? Is it matters of the deen, science? What do you want to debate about?
When you are ready, you tell me, then we'll arrange the subject.
No, I don't know you. So you don't say when I'm ready. It's as if I know you. You tell me first, then I will know what I'm going to prepare myself for. What are we going to debate about?
I don't want to interrupt the program.
You've already interrupted, brother. You've already interrupted. I just want to know before I let you go. What are we going to debate about?
We are going to talk about hadith.
A hadith?
Subject matter. Yes.
But you are not a scholar of hadith.
I'm not a scholar. Since you said it's irrelevant, then let's make it another time. You can invite me.
No, I said you are not a scholar of hadith. If you are not a scholar of hadith, I don't think I have time to do any debate with you.
That is why I said, as I started, if you had taken your time by now, believe me, we would have analyzed what I want.
We didn't analyze. We just spoke for 4 minutes. You and I are speaking for 4 minutes. I'm watching the time.
Okay, so you can host a debate with me, then we can discuss it further.
First of all, let me reassess you. Now you have gotten me interested.
Wow.
You have gotten me interested. Now let me wait. Let me reassess you. Number one, you are not a scholar. Number two, you want to talk about hadith. That is number two. Number three, it tells me since you are not a scholar, so you have a limited knowledge in the hadith and you still want to debate about hadith. Number three, you are obviously a sectarian because it's either you are a Sunni or you belong to a sect.
No, I'm a Muslim.
Okay. Number four.
I don't belong to any sect.
No problem. Number four. When you come to somebody and you want to have a debate, always arrange with the person, contact me and arrange. Don't come to my program off topic. That will distract people's attention. So that is what I have to say.
That's why I say it would be nice to host a debate so that we can discuss.
No, wait. But bro, you have to be in that level where I can host a debate with you. With somebody like you, if in your denomination, if nobody knows you, I will only make a program and invite you, you come. But I don't debate. Debate means we have to professionally arrange it where there's a mediator, you are here and here. No, I can't do with such a person.
That is why I've provided the subject to discuss. We'll discuss about hadith because I've been following your programs and you say there are no authentic hadiths anywhere. When we last spoke, you remember?
When did we speak?
It's been a while. I asked you similar questions some couple months ago.
You called on my program?
It was a live program and I commented.
You only commented. You didn't call in the program.
I commented and you read it and you analyzed it that there are no any authentic. No, I didn't call.
Okay. So your point is to defend the hadith of Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim and so on. That's your point.
No.
So what are you going to defend? Which hadith are you going to defend?
Never. I don't know who those people or you are talking about.
And I say, then which hadith are you going to defend?
Okay, this is not an hadith. I started the question that has the news of Isaac.
Okay, brother, it's okay. It's okay. You send me a message later, okay? We talk later. Thank you for your time. Assalamu alaikum. Let me see. Yeah, when something doesn't feel right, don't do it. Like, for instance, Quran chapter 17, verse 36 says, "Wala taqfu ma laysa laka bihi ilm." Do not pursue that of which you have no knowledge, right? So when something doesn't seem right to you, don't do it. I talking right now, I'm not in the good mood to perform the Hajj because some things don't seem, right. This don't sit right for me. But however, people who insist in going, that is the purpose and the reason why I do such lectures. People who insist on going, there are certain things you need to avoid around you, right? Now, I'm going to give you an example here. A lot of you have this Quran at home. This one from Saudi Arabia, this Quran. A lot of you have it at home, right? You are using it to read for guidance and whatever you want to read, right? But however, what you have missed, the point you have missed is when you take the front side, there's a lot of pages which has nothing to do with the Quran. A lot of texts they wrote which has nothing to do with the Quran. Those things are the glorification of certain hadiths, scholars, imams, prophet, whatever. You have never paid attention, but it is involved in the book, included in the book you are holding. Even though it is not part of the guidance you are following, but that doesn't necessarily mean you cannot read the book or use the book. This is what I want people to understand. When you go to such a place, you are not going there to do what the sectarians are doing. Neither are you there to do exactly the things they have instructed. You are only there to do what God has instructed you. That is the difference. So people are mistaking this concept, thinking, oh, we are promoting Arab culture. Look, it gets to a point people are trying to take Arabs as something to hate about. Let's differentiate between the corrupt people and the tribes the tribe we are talking about. If we are talking about Arabs as a people in general, that is a different topic. If you are talking about people who have brought corruption into Islam, that is also a different topic. This is not to promote an Arab culture. Islam has nothing to do with Arab culture. The Quran has nothing to do with the Arab culture. However, it is telling you an event or incident which has happened in the time and history, right? So let's see if something has happened in my country, Ghana, and the thing is being written about. For people who know about this movie, there's a movie Idris Elba went to Ghana to make. It's called Beast of No Nation, right? So this movie was made in Ghana, but it is not a Ghanaian movie. But even though it was made in Ghana, so there's a difference between telling the story about the movie and then telling the story about Ghana. There are two different things altogether. So the Quran tells you about incidents which has transpired or happened or artifacts you can find concerning the deen, which has nothing to do with Arab. So it's not like you are promoting Arab culture. Islam is not Arab culture. None of the things I've said has to do with the Arab culture. None of the things I've said has to do the acts of promoting shirk. Mine is just to decipher and tell people the right thing. So let's take the hatred out of their hearts, thinking that there's a problem with Arabs. Of course, I understand when some Arabs want to act like they are supreme because the Quran is in Arabic and that they have to act like it's their religion, but it is not for them. If you understand with knowledge how to decipher things, you can practice your own deen without infiltrating it with external sources. So that is the purpose why I do such lectures, to show people this evidence, right? So let's not put our personal, opinion and hatred towards the Arabs and think that everything Quran talks about is to be put away. Understand that point. Thank you. So Nazir Enes is saying that, Baba, please, is Hajj compulsory? No, it's not compulsory. According to Quran chapter 3, verse 97, right? وَلِلَّهِ عَلَى النَّاسِ حِجُّ الْبَيْتِ مَنِ اسْتَطَاعَ إِلَيْهِ سَبِيلًا. Whoever is capable of the means to it, he has to go. But it is never, ever compulsory. It is not, right? Kudisiya says, can I ask a question? What if Prophet Muhammad was not from Arabia? There's nothing wrong with that. If you say it's not from Arabia, Arabia is not a country, right? When we say Arabia, unless if you want to say Saudi Arabia, at the time when he existed, there was no country called Saudi Arabia, the region of the Arabs, the region of Arabs. There was no country like that. It was after him a country was named Saudi Arabia. Even this popular city, Medina, it was formerly called Yathrib. You find it in Quran chapter 33, verse 13. It's Yathrib. But the word Medina in Arabic, it means city, which is a big city, a city. So people keep calling it Medina, Medina, and now we still call it Medina. But the proper name for that city is Yathrib. And you can't find the name in the Quran. And then we have Mecca. It's in the Quran. These two places I mentioned, you find it in Saudi Arabia, the modern day Saudi Arabia. The country I come from, originally I'm a Ghanaian, but in the year 1956, there was no country called Ghana. It was Gold Coast. It was named Gold Coast by the British, right? But this same Gold Coast is now called Ghana, anytime from 1957. But just because something existed in the Gold Coast, and then the name was changed to become Ghana, doesn't mean if I'm talking about somebody being a Ghanaian, doesn't mean he didn't exist in the time of the Gold Coast. What I'm saying makes sense to you. Some people can say, oh, Prophet Muhammad is not an Arabian. The point is, can you prove he's not an Arabian? So even if you prove he's Arabian, what is the point here? Because Quran gives you the evidence as to when to understand what the messenger is. Quran chapter 14 verse 4, God says he does not send a messenger except in the language of his people in order to make things clear to them, right? So evidently, if you read Quran chapter 44 verse 58, and God says he has made the Quran easy in the language of the messenger. So we have the Arabic language in the Quran. That alone tells you the messenger is an Arabian. Then apart from that, nowhere in the Quran does it say Prophet Muhammad is from Saudi Arabia. Yes, that I agree. You understand? Kudisiya, if you can help us. She says Prophet Muhammad was not Arabia. If you can help us with a verse or an evidence to that, I will really, really appreciate that. This is the way I want people to do. When they make a claim, they should prove it, right? So I would really, really appreciate it. She says Prophet Muhammad was not Arabian. So kindly prove it with a verse. She said what? All the history books and dates are messed up. So now you give us the history. So show us Prophet Muhammad. What was he? Is he a Chinese? Was he part of the children of Israel? Was he, what is he? Tell us, please. When I go to Muslim stream with this approach, they block me and kick me out with like Kaisar Raja did today. Some Christian channel do when I prove that Jesus is not God, but the Messiah of mankind. Seaman says, over here in Tamale, we follow hearsays. You want to say hearsays, right? All right, I've done 2 hours, 30 minutes. I think I can do some few minutes before I go. Sister Erica Brooke, I've already spoken about that, about the completion of the Hajj. She says, peace be upon you. Are you covering what we should do to the company? Yes. So you can rewatch after this, watch the playback. You get the point. Milan Lion says, we also need museums in Zango. Yeah, we need it too. But actually, your president want to build a cathedral for you. So that's what you need. Nico Tijani says, salam. Okay. Let me see. The Islamic Council would never agree to Shuaib. No, you have to say the Mushrik Council will never agree. If you say Islamic Council, in the Quran throughout, there's nothing called Islamic Council. And again, what I want people to understand, Prophet Muhammad never built Islamic university. Neither did he build any Islamic institution or council or anything. Those things that you see there are the so-called man-made version of such, institutions. So, of course, I don't expect them to agree with the truth because most people hate the truth anyway. Let me see. Kodisia, if you make this claim, you have to give the evidence to that, right? What I'm here to do is to show people the claims I make. I can't just make a claim I cannot prove. I'll look stupid doing that. So please, people will say things from their own whims and desires, but the actual notion is to prove your claims, right? Is Hajj and Umrah the same thing? No, same time, right? According to the Quran, they has to be done the same time, the Hajj and the Umrah together. Yeah, Saeed Adam, I see you. Salam, brother. What am I missing? I just want to answer some questions before I go. Abdul Abubakar Jalil says, do we have a dressing code for the Hajj? No, there's no dressing code. However, those in charge now are telling you to wear the white towel or white gown around you. I don't know why but it is not from God, right? Babashuaib, can you please explain why God people to shave their hair during Hajj? What is the benefit of such a ritual? Now, this is interesting. You know that many times when we are trying to do certain things, we have people with a lot of hair, people with different type of hair, certain things to cause distraction, to distract people's attention. But when you have shaved the hair, it makes life easy when you go to a public gathering. You understand? It makes things easy for you. But has to having a reason why to say, okay, if you shave your hair, this is what is going to happen to you or that. No. But however, it is a command. It is just like we say, for example, we say, what is the benefit of God refraining Adam from going next to the tree? What was the benefit from it? The point is, it's just an instruction, a command. That is the thing. So when you are instructed to do something, it is not sometimes the case of why or where. If the person instructing you or the entity instructing you hasn't given you that reason, yours is just to abide with such reasons. That's it. According to the Quran, nowhere does it say that the shaving of the hair is mandatory. Or nowhere does it say if you are not able to shave your hair, you cannot do Hajj. God never said that. But however, it is recommended, right? That is what I can say. It is recommended for the shaving. But there is nowhere God says if you didn't shave your hair, it is forbidden. No. Kodisia says the Saudis are creating wars in Somalia and I think even Sudan. We are not even here to talk about Saudi. Put Saudi out of the topic. We are talking about what God says, not Saudi. The Saudis, they are different people from what God is talking about. The Saudi is just running a business of Hajj. Yes, in this context, I will agree with you. Yes, I will agree. They are running a business. Yes. Sorogu Kweku says, my question is who needs the Hajj? Allah or the one going to the Hajj? Who needs? I don't think this is a question I need to answer. Who needs? These things are personal things to be done. So it's not a matter of who needs, right? So if you don't need something, you stay away from it. That's up to you. Yeah, Mohammed Abdul Latif, salam. Nash Bayan, peace be upon you, bro. Tuji says, Surah Buhari legislated it to them, I guess. Yeah, Sahih Buhari, yes. Brother Gabon Boy, I see you. Peace be upon you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, salam, Ms. Bao, I see you. Salam. Mumadi Pedro, I see you. Peace be upon you all. Abdullah Abir says Hajj is not pilgrimage to Mecca. Now, making a claim is different from proving your claim. No problem. If you think it's not that, no problem. Ola means wealth, not hello. He says, which was Mecca located on Google Earth map? And where was Mecca location? Please confirm the distance by using map. Thanks. Confirm which distance? Right? Yeah, you are welcome, Hamza Isa. You are welcome. Ola, I think you missed all the points. The notion of Mecca and Mecca is just like the instance I explained concerning Ghana and Gold Coast, right? In the past, we were called Gold Coast. Then later on, we called Ghana. If you go in the history of Ghana in 1955, 1956, 1954, you will not see any country called Ghana. But however, when you start from our history from 1957, 1958 coming upwards, you see a country called Ghana on the map. So that's how it works. So if you tell me, why wasn't Mecca existing in the 7th century Arabia map if it is an ancient city? Arabia, ancient Arabia. Well, Current Hajj, nothing to do with the Quran. Yes, I agree. The current Hajj people are doing is not Quranic, right? That I agree. Yeah. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, I've seen all the questions. That's pretty much it. I'm getting tired here. Some people say, "Hey, Salam Mawiya, I see you." Says Mr. Babashuaib, I'm not a scholar like you, but please make time, let's reason. Put two and two together on the subject hadith or no hadith. Nigeria government use money made to build hospital facilities and schools to sponsor people to Hajj to go and be stoning the devil, but they forget they are real devil. Yeah, exactly. The real devil is within. African leaders will keep sponsoring people to go for the corrupt Hajj. This Hajj is not what I advise people to go. The current Hajj you see people doing is not what I will advise you to go and do. It's a waste of money. You are not doing what God asked you to do when you go to this current Hajj you see there, right? But this shouldn't stop me from teaching people the real Hajj in the Quran. That's what I'm doing. So instead of using this money to build institutions, build hospitals, build schools, you are using it to waste people's, lives. To say you are going taking them for Hajj, it's a waste of time. It's useless, because what they do there is shirk. So it's a waste of time. Yeah, Baba, today I see you. Malam, today I see you. Greetings. Kifari says Babs doesn't play around. Okay, Sister Kudisia, maybe we have to bring you on one day. You have to prove all this, right? I'll bring you on the program. If you have you have Sister Kudisia, that is my WhatsApp number there, right? You can send me the reference to the histories you have or the evidence you have. If it is tangible enough, I'll bring it on board and teach the people, right? So kindly send that evidence to the number you see down there, my number, correctional officer's number, and let's see what happens. Yeah. So thank you all, ladies and gentlemen. I've done 2 hours, 30 minutes. It's enough. It's okay. I have to go. I'm hungry. I have to eat, and it's late here. I was having headache earlier. That's why I couldn't come online on time, because I have to take a medication and rest a bit. So it got me. So thank you all for your time. Understand my objective. I'm not here to promote any Arabism or anything. I'm just here to tell you the truth from the Quran. You agree, fine. You don't agree, that's up to you. Quran chapter 18, verse 29. "Qul al-haqqu min rabbikum faman sha'a falyu'min wa man sha'a falyakfur." The truth is from your Lord. Whoever wills, let him believe, and whoever wills, let him disbelieve, right? I'm not forcing anybody to believe what I'm saying. It's up to you. But whatever I say is what I can prove. I don't have proof for something, I don't speak about it. Yeah. So thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, for your time. Sorry, I was trying to show you something. You say, did you say what they do that is shirk? That is asking for trouble by Muslim scholars and muftis. Well, it's the truth. Quran chapter 43, verse 78. We have brought you the truth, but most of you hate the truth. It's not the first time I said it. I've said it several times. Maybe this is the first time you are hearing me saying that. Yes, what they are doing there is shirk. It's simple as that. It's the truth, right? So whoever doesn't agree, let them go and bend the sea. It's simple. Yeah, thank you very much, Selina Farouk Lodi. Thank you for your presence and time. Thank you all, ladies and gentlemen. I'm tired now. I have to go. Inshallah, we meet next week. I'll fix up a time and a date for another program, and then we speak about important things as we go on. My YouTube channel, for those who don't know about my YouTube channel, kindly subscribe. I put the link. My YouTube channel, for those who are watching on Facebook, that's my YouTube channel, Bush2G9. Those who are watching from YouTube, you're already there. Kindly subscribe. Tell your people to subscribe. This is a platform you learn about Islam. You get to know the evidences that the Quran provides, right? And for anybody willing to have a dialogue, right? If you want to have a dialogue, I'll bring you on my channel. That's my number. You send me, uh, you know, and please, if you want to have a dialogue with me on a topic, make sure you are very, very knowledgeable, right? I don't want to waste my time bringing somebody. I'll be acting like at the end of the day, I'm teaching you. So I prefer somebody who is very, very knowledgeable. So when you come, you can present your argument, your evidence. When I ask you questions, instead of looking like a daycare nursery kid who was pooping his pants and cannot answer questions. So it will be a waste of time for me when people say, I want to argue with you, I want to debate with you, I want to. No, for me, it's like a waste of time. So please make sure you are knowledgeable in your field and let's have a discussion, right? I'm not saying I know it all. I'm not saying I'm better than everybody. No, I'm saying whatever I have to speak about, I make sure I know before speaking. So when you're coming here to challenge, you have to provide evidence as well. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate your time, your presence. Thanks for the support and being available. We keep in touch next week, inshallah. Uh, thank you very much. Like Sister Kudisia, like I said, the number is there. You have the evidence. Kindly send me on that number. It will be helpful, right? May it be with my benefit from your information. So that's my number, correctional officer's number. Whoever doesn't have, you can also get in touch with that, right? Uh-huh. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. This is where I bring the topic to an end. This is the correctional officer's page, and then we meet again, inshallah. Thank you very much. Peace out.